Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our TA training session. This is our third training session. So in case you didn't register for the others, in order to get a TA certificate, you at least you need to attend in 2 of these. So it's like so make sure you are qualified to apply the TA certificate. And the most important thing is to apply for the excellent and outstanding TA. I think that will be very helpful. And not only this is very helpful to apply the TA, outstanding TA, the most important thing is when you come to this session, you can listen to a lot of good talk, just like today's talk, and also enjoy the lunchbox. I think that's also another good thing about this. So today is it's our pleasure to invite Andy Chen, Professor Chen, to give us a talk about empowering EMI teaching assistants, strategy, challenge, and the best practice for effective support. I think Professor Chen, although right now he is associate professor in National Central University, but previously he had a chance to teach in United States and also the other country. So that's a very interesting experience. So he became in the final year of the PhD, he got a fellowship and he had the chance to go to state to do his research. But the thing is his advisor moved to the other school. So that school just decided to hire him as a teaching fellow over there. So he had a chance to teaching over there. And after that, he also come back to serve for the military. But his military service is very interesting. It's teaching in the other country, in the other country. So Professor Chen has a lot of experience in teaching in EMI. Although he's got his degree in Taiwan, but his experience actually helped him a lot to teach in English. I think this is it's a great opportunity for us to listen to his adventure and also his technique about teaching EMI. Let's give Professor Chen a round of applause.
All right, I really appreciate Professor Gao's introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you for joining the session for today. I would like to share some of my previous EMI teaching experience as a teaching assistant and also as a lecturer. So this kind of talk actually will be some not very serious, it's a cultural talk. So please enjoy your lunchbox or get some drinks, or you have to go out for wash your hands or to have a relax anytime. Make it relax and make it easy, okay? Just like enjoy a talk. So today I have around 1 hour, and what I'm going to share with you, because most of you are coming from like a teacher assistant, right? So I would like to share with you is about like empowering EMI teaching assistants. So I would like to share what actually the teaching assistant looks like. And during my personal experience, we may have to encounter different kind of challenges, or you are assigned different kind of tasks when you are working as a TA, especially for EMI course TA. So I'm going to share with you how the different type of TAs looks like. And after that, I will just quickly showing you that actually I joined one of the EMI teacher training at UCSD. So they give me a lot of important tips how we can run the EMI course. But after that, the most important thing is that I would like to share some of my personal tips, how I run my EMI course here. So before we start in the talk, actually, thanks for the help from our assistant. She helped me to collect some important questions from our audience. And we can just roughly point out 3 important challenges here. The first one is that, do you have any recommendation like teaching method that TA can use in the class? So this is the first question. And the second one is that, how can we engage more with students? How we can have more interactions with students, or not stories like a teacher or TA talking his and the student play with his iPhone or his iPad. So how we can make the student more engaged, especially at STEM, it's like science, technology, and also mathematics, engineering part. So how we can work in this kind of the situation. And the third one is that some audience told me that I have attended a lot of talks, but there's no specific way how we can do being a good TA. Do you have any like practical step-by-step things? So yes, actually today at the later part, I try to give you some of the real cases studies at my course. So this is the entire outline. But before we jump into all the like the EMI detailed materials, I need to do a very quick survey from all of you guys. So quickly, let me know if you're undergraduate student, please raise your hand. If you're undergraduate, okay, more or some of you, great, welcome. And if you are a graduate student, like master, please raise your hand, master students. All right, it's like a majority. And if you are PhD students, please raise your hand. All right, wonderful. We also have some PhD students. All right, second survey. If you completely not understand Chinese, 听不懂国语的，听不国语的，就个得去哪哦？他们是关于 please raise your hand. If you cannot understand Chinese. Oh, okay, great. We still have some students. So this situation actually will happen in your class since we have a lot of international students coming in, right? So during running the EMI course, one important thing you have to do is to make sure what is the distribution or what is the type of your student. But we have to do one thing, is the last but not least. 刚刚不举的，对不起，刚刚没有举手的同学，请你举手一下。If you don't raise your hand, please raise your hand. I'm afraid that you're starting to sleep at the very beginning. So please raise your hand and you can have a move. Then you will enjoy the talk later on. Okay? All right, appreciate. So I now have a quick understanding about your situation. Oh, by the way, one more thing. If you are already been the TA of some of the course, even in the past or currently you are working on it, please raise your hand. All right, most of you, great. All right, but some of you still looking for the opportunity to be in a TA later on, right? So in today, actually, when we talking about some teaching methodologies, if you already have the experience, you can also give me some feedback how you think about what I'm talking about is true or not in your class. If you are not, you can think about during that kind of situation, how actually you can try to find different ways to solve the challenge problems later on. All right, so let's start in from very short but very high density self-introduction. So I'm sorry there are so many words here, but in make long story short is that I get my PhD from National Tsinghua University at 2016, and as introduced by Professor Gao, before I graduated, actually I have experience to teach at United States. I'll be a research fellow, but before that time, actually I have 4 semesters teaching experience in National Tsinghua, and also I'm the one who very like to travel around the world. So I have some extensive exchange experience in Tokyo, in Beijing. So you can see there are a couple of different experiences there. And this is the other things. I believe this is why they find me to come here for sharing the experience. During my from probably the 4th year of my undergraduate to the end of my PhD life, I have been a teaching assistant for so many courses. Here are the list. So you can see actually I graduated from computer science. So I have been a teacher assistant for like computer science laboratory course and some fundamental course and also some graduate level course. And also I used to be a TA in the Center of General Education. So the course actually is very like a very wide range from like Taiwan Hakka culture, like forensic science, like psychology, and also some crime investigation, something like that. And also I have experience in Institute of History. Also, there is something like urban development in Chinese history or something like that. So this is a kind of a very diverse experience there. And this is when I was a TA, and also I was in a good shape, you know. Now it becomes twice as when I was a TA. And I'm lucky enough that during my TA journey, I was recognized 3 times by National Tsinghua to be outstanding TA. And finally, after like 3 continuous semesters, they give me this. It's continue 3 times, now you be an excellent TA, and you are not allowed to join the best TA selection. So I just graduated from that. And also, they give me probably every semester I need to deliver a talk for all the TAs during a TA training camp to share some of my experience there. And in my talk, actually, I always try to mimic what actually TA looks like. So I believe most of you should have some basic knowledge about the history of either Chinese or the other country. They have like MPro structure. So you will see that when you are going to be a TA, if you are like in student's position, you probably think about TA is the one, they will be very handsome or very beautiful, sit beside me and teach me character by character, equation by equation. So this is the best case. And for your friends, probably think about what is TA? TA probably is the one who graduated your exam sheet and try to give you scores or give you some comments about your answer. And some your parents probably think about, especially in STEAM area, will probably think about TA is the one who guide you to do a lot of experiments. And finally, what actually TA looks like, this is what I did before. It's like you probably need to clean the classroom, need to clean the whiteboard and something. Yeah, actually, it's also a portion of the TA's job. So, as I just mentioned, so what actually the TA position looks like? So as you know that for each of the course, actually it will be designed and also be offered by the lecturer or by the professor or by the teacher, right? And he or she will be something like MPro of the entire class. And you as a TA, actually your position is just like the chancellor, in 中文宰相. All right, so you have a very comprehensive power to decide a lot of detailed things for the entire course operation or class operation. But do not forget that actually the course is owned by the teacher or by the lecturer. So he or she has the 100% right or 100% the responsibilities for the course. So anytime when you be a TA, do not forget that you are not the one that you have to take care of for entire course. You have something, you have someone that you can consult with, and also you have someone you need to like obey some of the instructions from your professor. So if you take a look for left-hand side, I'm sorry, there are some Chinese characters, but I'm going to explain that. So this is your faculty, right? And your faculty actually, the most frequent thing is faculty interactive with students. And also student active with students telling a lot of things on the D-card, say, hey, this teacher is not good for me. Yeah, something like that. And also, you have some administration teams. For example, your staffs in a department office, or you have some assistants from like education center or something. They help the teacher and also help the students during the learning process. And what is TA? TA actually plays the role is here. So as you can see, TA have strong connections with students and also have strong connections with faculty. So TA actually is a bridge in between the faculties who own the class and also the students who take the class. So this is like a very important position. Just like in a traditional structure of politics, you have MPro and you have some chancellors, and each chancellor actually you will have different kind of something like second tier departments there. And also, TA need to have a good relationship between the administration team, because sometimes your advisor may ask you to apply for a project or to try to reserve a classroom or try to get some teaching materials like computers and pointers, something from your department office. So this is also very important that you will have a connections with this kind of teams. So this is like the big picture, what actually TA looks like. So actually TA plays a very, very important role during entire class because you are the core to have a connection between the teacher, the students, and also the administration team. So what actually the TA looks like? And I have to say that actually the answer is case by case, depends on how your teacher or how your course faculty looks like. In roughly, I can classify the situation into the following things. The first one we call the Dreamy type TA. What is Dreamy type TA? Actually, everything will covered by your lecturer. So the two things TA need to do. The first one is to sign your name on the sheet. And the second one is to check the money go to in your account, and that's all. Yeah, so probably after one semester, you even have no idea what actually this course is even about. I have no idea. So this is like Dreamy type TA. And the second one is what we call relaxed type. So relaxed type means that the teacher also have a very high contribution for entire class. So anytime when the class time comes, you come to the classroom and make a sleep, take a nap, and after the class you go to washroom, 上课睡觉，下课尿尿. Then you can get money. So this second one. But most of you, I guess, you are like ordinary one is like you need to handle a couple of tasks assigned by the lecturer. For example, TA office hour. You need to create a time, you need to reserve a space, and the students will jump into your office, ask a lot of questions, sometimes related to class, sometimes to like his or her life consulting or something, and you need to have a lot of interactions with students. And some of TA probably will be like overworked type. What is overworked? It's like your instructor assign a lot of tasks for you. For example, you need to make slides, you need to grade exam sheets, you need to maintain a website or the e-learning systems, you need to clip the video, you have to do a lot of things. So this will be a lot of difficult. And also, there are still some cases like a diligent type. It's like your faculty will have a very high quality requirement or high quality inspection on you. So the situation probably will like you spend all night to make the slides, and your teacher still don't think it's perfect enough. So you need to do a lot of revisions, and finally you see the sunrise, but your slides is not rising yet. So you have this kind of situation. And also, in some extremity case, TA probably will be the one actually almost can replace the teacher. But this situation now is very seldom happen. But used to have the faculties like, okay, so the class is yours, the stage is yours. I'm going to have an afternoon tea. I have to come back in 1 hour. You need to finish all the lectures, and no student should complain you. Otherwise, you are fired. So it is like a very old story case. But sometimes this kind of situation happen. So as you can see, there are different type of TA structures. And since you are going to be in a TA, one of the very important things at the very beginning is to understand your boss and understand what actually the expectation from your boss. So consider about your boss probably looks like this way and probably looks like this way. Or sometimes you're lucky enough to have like this way. And if you consider about different kind of type of teachers or lecturers, there may be the cases like they may have all around, they may have like the by the book, follow the rule, or they can have the fun or carefree thing faculties there. And also consider about the personality. Some faculty is very strict, and also they are detail oriented. You have to do everything perfect, even in a command or in any type of arrangement on your slide. You need to do very detailed things. And some faculties probably is like have a reasonable depth of flexibilities or something. If you are too busy, then probably he's okay. You do not do such a perfect job. And some of the faculties, everything is fine, but they try to give you a lot of encouragement to telling you are good, you can do a very good job, something like that. So if you put everything together, you probably have different type of the terms that you can express the behavior or the type of your boss. So this is the first step when you are going to be a TA, be sure that you understand what the type of your boss is. This is very important. And how we can be like the outstanding assistant officer. So the key is that since you need to understand your boss at the very beginning, then you should have some idea how your boss personality, how your boss preference, and what is the expectations of you. This is very important. Yeah, because some teacher may try to expect his TA can do a lot of things, but some of teacher expect the TA should not do anything. So it is very important. You have to clarify what your role is. And the second one is you have to clearly identify your responsibility and ensure they can be completed on time. So this is also the second important thing. So anytime when you are assigned a task, you need to evaluate whether the task is okay for you or not. And if you agree to do that, always deliver things on time. So I think this is very important. And also you have to do things to communicate effectively. So anytime when a situation happens, do not just tell in the situation when it happens. Try to tell it before. And and also you can try to seek some help just in case if you are like overloaded or you're overwhelmed. So this is very important. And also you can provide some feedback and suggestions within your ability. I mean, do not offend your the lecturer just tell me, hey, you teach is so bad, I can replace you. Do not do that one. But you can give some like suggestions like, I think most of students think this part is too difficult. And I suggest that if you go that way or you try to give more explanation, the student may understand. And actually when you are discussion either with your professor or with your student, one important tip is that anytime when you are trying to say something negative, try starting with something positive. For example, it's like, hey, I think today works very, very hard on my talk, right? It's pretty good. I'm just freaking out that you are watching some other videos, right? But I think this is pretty good. Yeah, but sometimes you need to concentrate because this part is important. But after that, you're okay to watch. So you can just use this kind of suggestion ways. But so no worries. I'm not telling that you're not okay. So no worries about it. So this is a kind of the way that you can doing the suggestions either for your students or for your faculty. And one important thing is that try to make the course as your own business. So you have to think deep about how you can make the course better, how you can run the course better. Okay? So this is kind of my personal suggestions when I was a TA. And let me quickly showing you, actually for all the other classes, actually I have experience about different type of boss when I was a TA. So the first one probably is like, this one is like a laid back type. So the faculty handle anything, and the only thing I need to do is just to do a very limited task assigned by the faculty. For example, open the light before the class starts, and try to return the notebook after the class, or something like that. So this is a kind of very enjoyable experience. And this is most of my TAs have experience in like, you have a very steady and also like repeated tasks you have to do every week. For example, you have to complete tasks, you have to assist the setting up teaching equipment, and you have to attend the class sessions and help manager unexpected issues. For example, when the power loses, what will happen? What you have to do to solve the situation. And also you need to grade assignment, you need to have a like TA office hour, like the situation. So this is, I believe, is most of the TA you will encounter, especially for the STEAM area. And actually, I also have some extreme experience for this case. I used to be a TA of one class that goes to like 400 or 500 students, and there's only one TA is me. Yeah, so this is like very heavy loaded things. But in this case, you need to consider when you have a large population from students, they may have different background, they may have different abilities to complete a task. So you have to think about how you can design a course to make different level, or say different ability of students, should not say level, different ability of students can have the different supporting, and also the different tasks they can complete. So this is one very challenging example there. And also in this course, actually, when I was a TA, there's the other big challenge. This course actually is the history development of Chinese. And during that time, they invited a very important person, 故宫, 北京故宫的馆长. So it's the place museum, the leader or the chairman come to the class to deliver a talk. So it's like an international guest. And also, he's like a very big boss. Even our chairman or the president from the university come to the talk. And I'm the one that need to handle every detail. So sometimes you may encounter this kind of situation. So you have to have good relationship between the administration team. And also you can ask experience or learn experience from some previous TA. And this will be very helpful for you to organize this kind of thing. I believe some of you probably, when you see there's a big event, you may be afraid of to take over it. So you probably will ask your lecturer to find out someone else they can help or handle the situation. But in my personal suggestion, I would say, if you get this chance, try to grab it, because you can make good friends. So actually, we did a very success talk there, and also after that, this is our president, this is our guest. So finally, I become a good friend of the guest. And for the following year, I got an opportunity to be an exchange student to Beijing. So he invited me to the places, and also he and his team take me to a very special place they call Shufangzai. If you have seen the Huan Zhu Ge, you should know this like a very important place there. And also this is not open for public, but he took me to there and said very delicious food, and we have a very good chat there. So during the TA experience, there's the other way, or also this other opportunity that you may be able to expand your connections. Okay, so this is the other benefits you probably can get from TA. And also this is the other course. This course is like the faculty trust me a lot. So he tried to assign as many tasks as I can. And I'm the one that I try to do anything perfect. So actually I try to build the entire the course database. And I need to create a template for a report. I need to build a website. I need to do the lab. And I need to get a forum, and also I need to design a certificates of appreciation when we have a guest coming for the talk. So I do a lot of things there. But during that time, actually the pay is not high, right? So during that time, what actually motivate me to do a lot of things? Because I think this is a good training. And anytime when you do one thing, actually you learn how to do that. And this will pay back. So actually, when I was a TA, I have not expected that. This experience actually helped me a lot during my following life when I become faculty. Or even when I apply the faculty job, these experience are something like the highlight point of my experience. So this is other things I would like to encourage all of you, that if you get a chance to get a TA position, and also your teacher or your faculty trust you a lot and give you a lot of tasks, try to do it just like your own business, and try to do it as good as you can. Then during this process, actually you can learn it. And also, this is not finished yet. I always get a bunch of emails one day during my TA life. I need to do a lot of replies on it. All right, so this part actually is from the relations between TA and the faculty. So far, so good. So far, so good. All right. So next part, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes telling you about the relations between TA and the students. So since you're a TA,
So you are not only face your faculty, you also need to face your students. And the diversity of students can be very huge. So in my experience, probably you're like a TA, the grades are too low. Can you be more latent for grading? Or say, hey, can we extend the deadline? Or I forget submit my assignment, can you just take it? Or even sometimes say, hey, someone's cheating now, you need to do some actions. Or I don't understand anything the professor says, what should I do? So you will encounter a lot of questions or a lot of call for help from your students. So how you can handle the situation? Actually, for here, I give you some of like main concept or the core concept about facing student. The first one, always remember that the course is owned by your lecturer or owned by your professor. So he or she has 100% responsibility to the course. And also she and he has 100% rights to decide how to treat the student if the student gets some violation or encounter some situation. So do not promise student anything that you are not organized. So this is very important. And anytime if the students call for help that's out of your out of your organized range, just tell the student, I will report a situation to the faculty. The faculty will be invited to message you. And try to make this connection as smooth as you can. And try to reply this situation in the rapidly. Do not just put everything, accumulate everything until the end of the semester. It will become probably not solvable. But if you just do it rapidly, immediately, instantly, then it actually can be solved very quickly. And also, do not forget this is not your own responsibility. It's also your faculty's responsibility. This first one. And the second one, I would suggest is that you can be a good friend with the students. Because you are also a student, TA is also a student. So you know that how the student's perspective looks like, or the student's angle looks like. Because sometimes when we be a faculty for a long time, sometimes we may forget how the student feels. Especially when I teach your course for 10 years, I'm so familiar with the content. Sometimes I may just say, oh, this is very intuitive, we just go. But for the first time learner, this is not the case. So you have to always think about how you can put yourself in students' shoes and think about how student feels. So you can be a good friend with students, and you can think about how he or she feels, but do not be too close to the students. What means too close? Sometimes we want to be too like body friends. A problem is like when student ask you, hey, do you adjust my grade? Or hey, can you give me like more relaxed or more polite grading comments or something? It probably will make you a little bit difficult to handle the fairness and your friendships. So this is another problem. So my suggestion is that try your best to find a balance. So this is also a very difficult part here. And so this is what I just mentioned. Stand on the same side of the students, understand their need. And one more thing is that if the student cannot understand what faculty are talking about, and if you have sufficient time, try to repeat it or try to retell the story to the student. And this time, do not use the very hard words, but try to just think about how you learn these terms and how you understand. And use the that way to explain to your students. Sometimes it will be very helpful. Because in this situation, actually, you are staying in the position of students, and of course, you are thinking about when you first time learning how it feels like. Then you should know what actually the blind point, the 盲点, where it is, and how we can solve it. Okay, so this is very important. And most important things is that you have to be very patient. And one more thing, do not fight with students. I have been seeing one of the TA, and he grades very strict, and still makes student unhappy. And the students try to argue, and the TA yells to student, and student yells to TA, and they fight together. Then I take a picture. Oh, just kidding. So you have to be very careful that any time when you see the situation almost become uncontrollable, my suggestion is that you leave the situation, just leave that location and try to report the situation to a victim as soon as you can. Okay, so this is also very important. All right, so this is kind of the part of my like TA experience. And following, the key point is about the EMA, right? So I'm going to share the difficulties I encounter when I teach in the EMA class. So most of either EMA instructor or EMA TA have a main consideration is that I don't have good English ability. Sorry, my English is bad. How I can deliver a good EMI course? But do not forget, the situation is that your student also don't have a very good English ability. So do not forget that EMI means that English will be the instructions of mediums. That it means that you are going to use English to deliver the content. But the English actually is just a channel or just a tool to deliver the content. So it should still be the deliver content. So the English is the only thing that you can make both sides understandable is good enough. It's not the case you need to use very elegant words. You need to have a very perfect pronunciation like ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Not the case. Okay? So you have to be very you have to be think about that. You do not need to worry about you can do a very perfect English pronunciation. But you have to think about it is okay that you deliver what the meanings or what the important things behind language to your students. So this is the important thing. And unfortunately, this is one of the survey results from my EMI class. And unfortunately, this is all in Chinese. So I just highlight two parts. This part showing that when using EMI to lecture this course, it will help my learning. And will help my learning progress. So you can see actually this is the lowest point for the average. So most of students actually have a disagree about this part. And also when we try to get some more detailed analysis, we figure out that 44% in my class telling me, okay, they can use English to complete 80% or above class assignments or class tests. However, on the other side, the other 16% students showing they cannot understand or say they cannot complete the course tests with the EMI, so they need help. Then you can see actually they have a big diverse. And also, when we think about the difficulties or the problems for learning, 52% showing that take EMI course or use English to deliver, they cause a trouble when they are learning. And some students telling them my homework is too difficult because all my homework is all in English. And if you go to like detailed comments, some students give me, all right, EMI can, if I encounter some EMI problem, especially this guy, he almost cannot complete tests with English. So he tried to improve English, but he told me the improved ability is very limited. And also some students told me the English is not okay, and also technical parts are not okay. And also some students telling me that the content is interesting, but using English is almost killing. So he only can understand probably 70% of the course. And also some students telling me that, okay, using English can improve my English ability. However, it cannot improve my technical knowledge. So it will be a problem. So based on this kind of survey, I quickly to put everything together. By the way, some students telling me that they cannot understand why we need to take the EMI course. Why not just use English to deliver the important content? Because now, when you are taking the course, the important thing is learn new things or learn important content that will be useful when the students are going to find a job later on. So why we need to use EMI? So these are some complaints from students. Even some students telling me he can do nothing. So here, I summarize a survey from my course. I figure out the major problem is actually coming from the student don't want to, or some student is not able to engage in my course. And the main reason comes from the student have no idea why EMI, why we need to use English, why not just use Chinese? And some students are afraid of using English, or some students have a limited ability to use English. And also they have difficulty to learn new things in English. So here I have to clarify that using English to understand one thing and using English to completely learn new things actually are different things. Understand means that when I'm talking about things, you can understand each word. Learn means that you not only understand the word, but also you understand the deeper meaning, and you can try to convert to your own knowledge. And this procedure actually sometimes take time, take practices, and if you're adding English there, some students may have difficulties to cross this part. And also, some students have very limited English ability. So most students will, some students will try to complain why we need to use EMI. Following that, if majority of your course students think about EMI is something that you miss to student, and it is not a good thing for not good for them, then students will try to avoid EMI course, or they will escape from the English. Then actually it will cause a big problem. So you can imagine that if all students sitting here, if most of you think EMI can help my learning, EMI can help encourage my English ability, so you engage in the course. Some of the other students see most of the students are engaged, they will try their best to engage. But if majority of students still thinking about no, not EMI, so I try my best to show my opposite opinion that you do not use EMI, then the entire course structure will be the situation that everybody is against EMI. So this is the problem. So when this kind of structure happens, I would say the majority or the most important thing for your EMI student to be engaged is to let students understand why we need EMI. What is the benefits when you take the EMI course, and how we can help you to learn, to enjoy, or say to learn things from EMI course, with a very comfortable situation. So this is very important. So I would say the key solution is that how to students engage with EMI. First of all, try to explain the reason of teaching EMI. Of course, the reason probably becomes just like a department requirement, a university requirement, but trying to give them more examples that how actually English can help your daily life. So this is important. And second one is trying to create a cordial atmosphere. So now I have a question. So what is a cordial atmosphere? Can anyone give me some explanation on it? You will think, oh, this is quite difficult, right? I even no idea what the meaning of these two words. So one important thing is to deliver EMI things, try to make things understandable, make things easier, just like this way. Why not just create a comfortable environment? So that means just like this is like a very relaxed, comfortable, and make people be confident, like feelings or something. But you can just change the word to like comfortable environment. Most of students can understand, right? So this is the only important thing. Try to use the best words, and try to structure your sentence as short as possible, so that your student understand easily. So this is also what I did during my talk. If you try to think about it, I do not use something like elegant, but I try to use something we will talk every day, and then try to point out a way to improve English ability in the field of course. I will tell you how to do this later on, but there are some tips there, and try to encourage your faculty or even yourself to do some interactive teaching. So what is interactive teaching? The lightweight version of interactive teaching is just like what I did. You do some survey, you ask students raise your hand, you walk down and then talk some examples. So you have to let students know you are paying attention on them. You are not just the one to deliver everything on the stage. Sometimes even you can ask a question and the student answer, try to run to a place and give the microphone to the student. So this is also the one way that you can have a good engagement lesson. And of course, the important thing is you need to build trust and confidence for students. So let me quickly ask, how many of you have ever teacher class as a TA during the entire course? If you have, if your ability is to either teach a tutorial course or teach a partial course versus a hand, if you have the experience. Well, I think most of you not, but some of you yes, right? So when you teach in the class, actually remember that try to get more interactions with students and try to ask questions or do some quick survey. And how we can do a quick survey, a very important or also a very easy way is just like, okay, so what I just before I'm telling is there many types of TAs. Can anyone give me one answer? What type of TA looks like, or what's your experience like that? So this is one way. But you will see, say, can anyone give me an answer? If you can, please raise your hand. Now it become a very awkward situation. No one raise your hand, right? So this always happen. So how we can deal with this kind of situation? So we can make the student to raise your hand to answer the question, to be like a multiple choice problem. So now I just change my way. I say, okay, now I just give you a question. Say, if one student's trying to deliver something in a classroom, but he cannot speak very fluent English. So how you should to have the comments for student? A, I'll say one. You do a very good job, but sometimes we can improve something. Second, you do a very bad job. So what do you think? If you think one person, so one. If you think two person, you're a person ratio two. Right now, raise your hand and show me. Or you can see now at the more student will take action, right? So do not hire one student to try to distribute this kind of pressure to all your classrooms. So most students will give you feedback. But still some students will not, right? So the very beginning things we can use for students who do not raise their hand, raise their hand right now. Take a move. Then the student will just engage back. Okay, so this is something that you can play with your student. And also, of course, the TA is very important for the course. And by the way, this slide is the way I try to encourage my students to join the EMI course. The story is like, actually, in my life, actually, I'm not the one that have a very dedicated doing very good research. But I'm the one very dedicated on doing a good play, providing good food, and try to travel around the world. So of course, if you want to travel around the world, for example, you can take a good sakura here, you can take good sashimi there, and also you can have a big pork sneaks in Germany, and also you can have some lecturers in Prague. And if you want to travel around the world, you need to meet the people, you need to build a connection. Then of course, you need to talk, right? So if you want to learn too many languages across the country, difficult. But most of the country can take English, so why not improve your English? So this is one reason for EMI. Okay, so some students when I show these kind of pictures and tell them that actually if you do a very good English speaking, sometimes even you can be the representative of the countries to do some very important things and good for Taiwan. Then the student will think, okay, so this is the reason I find motivation, so I need to polish my English. And how I can polish my English, I can take the EMI. And now create a very soft and encourage and positive environment for students, so they are able to speak a lot of things. Okay, so this is the tips I would like to share with you. And due to the time limitation, our session became that. So I will just give a quick through about my UCSD travel. So actually, this is like 2 week, very compact, and also like the real situation mimic training. So the idea is that if you have no idea how student feels like, now you be a student, then you should have an idea how student feels like. So we were sent into UCSD and we took a lot of courses and we pretend, actually not pretend, actually I'm not understand about education, I not understand about psychology. So I try to learn that. I feel how difficult for Chinese-based students to learn EMI. So when you have this kind of experience, then you have an idea how you design a course. So the other important suggestion for EMI TA is that you should at least take one EMI course. And the best way is that just take the course that you are going to be a TA. Then you will have a 100% feeling, complete feeling, how the Chinese-based students, when they encounter some difficulties, what actually happens there, how it feels, and how we can solve the problem. Okay? So, by the way, some additional field layer, and also I engaged some student club at events, and also I sit into some class to see how their teacher teaching EMI. And by the way, this is a very special library layer. And finally, I also lecture some course layer. And by the way, sometimes you will have a cultural shock. And this is also one important thing. This is the experience when I first time teach a class in the United States. When I tried my best to explain a very complicated theory because I teach logic design. So I just asked my student, so now you understand? So most students just give me the head shaking. Then when I see the head shaking, I say, oh, I do not do a very good job, right? So most of the students cannot understand. So after that, I give a quiz. But almost all of the students get 100 points. So I'm just curious, what happens? So finally, in one day, I meet one student on the road. I just asking him, I'm so curious, asking him, so you completely not understand what I'm talking during the class? And the student tell me, no, not the case, I completely can understand. But I just asking, why you was shaking head? And the student just looked at me, shaking head is understand, you know? That was so surprising. So finally, I freak out, there's a cultural shock. So in Asia-based or in Taiwan, when we understand something, we just say, have your head back like this way, right? This is yes, and this is no. And in some cultures, this is yes, and this is no. Can you tell the difference? Can you tell the difference? Now just try to figure out one again. So this is yes, and this is no. No, of course the difference is not my style. Right? So what actually the difference is? Anyone want to make a guess? Want to make a guess? If you make a guess, I give you a bonus. Alright. Anyone you want to take a try? I see someone. Oh, great. We have a good participants. Alright, here we go.
It's more like it is not that.
Yeah, you freak out the trees there. Actually, the angle is different. Also, the key is where your neck moves or not. If yes, it's like this way, but no, it's different. You will see here is move or not. In suggestion here.
Perfect expression for that. There would be a spherical coordinating model. And the yes would be the theta.
Okay,
that direction.
Theta direction. And
The phi direction would be no.
Okay. Perfect explanation. Give me a big hand. Also give her a big hand. This time I can get one new thing that I should add theta, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I just demonstrate how you can let students engage. Trying to tell the story first, and try to create some question, and try to make question fun, and encourage students to answer. And once the student answer, always give a positive feedback. So this is like a path that you can make your course like have a positive loop. Now, I believe most of you will think about, okay, the two perfect students just answer the question and they get a worded. Next time I probably would like to try. So you'll see more students try and more students engage in your class. Okay? So this is the one thing. So go back to the story. So the one more important thing you need to take care is that they may have some cultural shock. So you need to understand, especially if you have international students in your class. Sometimes the international student representation is not the things we're thinking about. And also their writing. When I first had to check the examiner sheet, it's killing me. Yeah, because they just write in the writing style, not a printing style. So you also need to try to improve your reading. But now we have a good friend called ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT can help to tell. And I'll skip this part, this kind of running EMI courses. But I would like to jump here. This is very important things for my own suggestions when you are being an EMI TA. What actually the key things you need to think about? The first one is that if you are the first time to deliver the English talk, or you use English to explain something, try to speak slower. Because sometimes at the very beginning, your pronunciation, if you are not very confident, some students may not understand. And also, try to make an eye contact with your student, not like this one, but try to do this one. Okay, so try to make most of students feeling that, okay, now the faculty is watching me, the faculty care about what I'm feeling, what my understanding is, what my feeling is. So this is important. And if you see most of students have a confusing face like this way, or student has this way, or student has this way, then you should know, you should stop and take a joke or something like that. And one more important thing is that do not forget the EMI actually is not things that you need to do like 100% in English. It's only 70%. So I also have some supporting ways. It's like probably you can make a Chinese version video for some very tough things. And this is not only from faculty, but also from TA. And also for my homework, actually, I have a very comprehensive package. It's like TA need to prepare so many things. And most of things will be in English, but some of the explanation will be in Chinese. So the student can have some supplemental materials. And also, as we just demonstrated, with the bonus system, we actually sometimes we play games like Kahoot, and we also use flip classroom. It's like the most difficult part. You just give a video for a student so they can watch it again and again. And during the class, we do the exercise together, and also we have the positive environment to let students to do discussion and sharing. And also, here are some like English learning skills. But make long story short, is you need to make a dictionary, and try to make dictionary for the student for one chapter as a demonstration. For example, this is what I made. So actually, in a STEAM area, there will only be like 250 words, and frequently be used. So you do not need to remember all the dictionary, but you need to remember the keywords for each chapter. So make the dictionary can help students to learn very quick. And also make the entire content to be structural representation. So this is also something. And last but not least, always have a meeting with your professor every week, and make it as a regular meeting. So you can discuss the situation in depth and try to work with your team, not just with your own self. If you with your team, you can you can work longer. Okay. And also here are some of my trainings there. For example, just like today, it's very good to take some training. So of course you can learn a lot of things from there, and also you can make good use of AI tools. I started from ChatGPT when I started from 3.5 until now. So anytime, do not avoid use new technologies, but they can be a very good way for you to do something like this. And unfortunately, I'm run out of time and showing me time's up. So I have to wrap up everything. So the couple key takeaways here. First of all, when you be a TA, try to clarify what actually your mission is, and try to assess your capacity, and just promise the things you can do, and treat the course as your own, and also provide timely feedback. Think about how your learning experience, and try to use the experience to build a more friendly environment for students, and put yourself in students' shoes, and try to make a TA team. So this is the important inside just showing you here. So finally, actually there's one video I made for telling about my teaching philosophy. So I probably can play this at the very end of the talk. But before that, I believe I have answered most of these questions. But if you still have questions, I'm very happy to take more. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.